Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild, today with a very unique video idea that I don't think I've ever attempted in the past, and I can't think of anybody else that has tried this either. I'm essentially going to do a run throughout all my main zones on Whitetail with what I consider to be the best gun for them, with the worst gun also having a crack at it as well. And we're going to see how long it takes me to get through an entire run on my Whitetail, as well as how many kills we can get with each of these guns, knowing that one of them is at a severe disadvantage. We're going to see if skill really matters, or if it is the gun that is going to get you good amounts of kills in a short amount of time. Because you could argue that a really good player could be able to get lots of hard shots or double lungs with a really bad gun and still get relatively close numbers to what a really good gun would get. So today we're going to be testing that theory out. We're going to be using the 223 bolt action, which is easily the worst gun you could possibly use for Whitetail that is still within the proper class range. And then we've also got the AR-308, which is, in my opinion, the best possible gun you could use for Whitetail. And I did recently have somebody in the comments saying that the 308 is better and that I don't know what I'm talking about, but they were very much focusing on the penetration of it. The 308 bolt action actually does have more penetration, but that's not the reason why the 308 AR is better. The reason the 308 AR is better is the speed at which you can take animals down. The fire rate is insanely fast while having good enough penetration to drop most deer on the spot. So it's not really a matter of it having the most penetration, but it having good enough penetration to always get double lung and being able to fire super quickly and drop most of the proper animals for that class range on the spot. Now let's go ahead and get the timer started, and we will go ahead and use the 223 on a run. I got a feeling this isn't going to be great, but it's worth a try, and I really want to see what the results are going to be. And the timer has started. Let's go ahead and get to blasting with the 223. Now it's going to be hard to get more than one or two of them down in a zone just because of how quickly the animals spook. That is going to be a major downside for this 223, as well as just the kill time. It's going to be tough to get these things claimed quickly, because part of the rules for this is that I do have to claim everything. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but I have to claim every single animal, no matter how poorly I hit it, so I really want to be making good shots here, and there's just one buck over there, unfortunately, so we're going to have to go ahead and take him and just hope that another one pops out of the woodworks, but it's looking like there is one, but he's not exactly in a good spot, and I think because of the fact that there's no way I could reliably get a vital hit there, I'm not going to take the shot, since I would have to track that, and if it wasn't a good hit, there's a chance that it wouldn't even die. Well, we are already seeing an issue here. This is not what we want to see. That did not even get vitals. That is a problem. That is a major problem. If I don't see it start losing HP soon, then I'm going to assume that it did not die. And in that case, I guess we would not need to claim it because it isn't dead. So that's a little bit of a, I guess, a silver lining for a bad gun like the 223 is if we didn't get vitals, then we technically don't even have to track it because it's not going to die. And yeah, this one, neither of those died. Oh man. We are off to a rough start. We are off to a very rough start. Let's go ahead and go for one of these guys. He's pretty far out. I don't know if this is going to actually work well, but that right there should be vitals, and I hope that one is. It probably won't be, though. Frontal shots are not the strong point of the 223, so he's probably not going to be vitally hit. No organs hit. That is very unfortunate. Please tell me the other one was vitals. Okay, we do finally have a vital hit. Oh, man. It still hasn't died, though. It still has not died. That is crazy. Makes me wonder, are any of these, like, just eventually going to topple over? Because this one is taking a very long time even with a vital hit. Okay, well, it officially has died. That's actually a lot quicker than what we're seeing with the other ones, so I definitely didn't get vitals on any of the other shots. That's pretty crazy. So it seems with the 223, even with polymer tips, you have to have a perfectly broadside shot or else it will just not get into the vitals at all. That is really going to be the downfall of it in this challenge. I mean, it's got so many downfalls, but that is going to be a major one. In my opinion, what Expansive Worlds needs to do to make the 223 good is make it have the same power as the 243 and then bump the 243 up a little bit, as well as bumping up the 270 I think all three of those guns really need a rework in their power. In real life, a 270 can take down an elk quite easily, but you see in the game, it has trouble with that. And I do think that all of the lower tier guns that come with the base version of Call of the Wild definitely need some type of rework, especially the 223 and the 243. But here's our buck right here. Let's see what the damage is like. So that is barely into a single lung. That is pretty crazy that it barely got into a lung. So that explains why we can never get the frontal shots to work. You're going to have to go for broadside. Well, let's attempt to get a shot into this buck right here. I think we got a chance. It's a little bit of a weird angle, but I do think that we have a chance to hit it. Come on, start losing that health. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that we didn't get it. It's starting to look like we didn't get it. Well, that is quite disappointing how... Oh, it is losing health. Well, we got one of them. Actually, we got both of them. Okay, so we're starting to gain a little bit of ground, but I still don't think it's going to be enough to win against the 308. But I guess we'll see. So this was the second deer that we shot, and it died a lot quicker than the first one. Really interested to see what we got going on here. It was lung and stomach, so that's why it died quicker. Man, I think I've discovered what the problem is with the 223 in its current state. It's the penetration. Because we see right there, it actually did pretty decent with a stomach and left lung shot. I could only imagine that double lung would make it do even better. You know, my recommendation to Expansive Worlds at this point, if they don't want to, like, buff these guns in any major way, I do think just a simple penetration increase to the 223 would actually be pretty substantial in making this gun viable. It's the fact that it can't get double lung that is really the downfall of it from what I'm seeing here, because this stomach liver shot, or stomach lung shot actually did decent. If they just made it so it could reliably double lung, I definitely think it would get used more. And I do think that a penetration increase would make sense for the 223, considering it's basically just a less spicy version of a 5.56, which is known for its speed and penetration. So I do think it wouldn't be too big of a deal to give it a little bit more penetration. That right there is a single lung hit on this buck. So yeah, we're getting a few down, but not as many as I had hoped. Another thing that's pretty wild is we're not even halfway through all of my main zones, and it's already took us 12 minutes to get through these. Let's go ahead and get the attention of this buck right here. And then we're going to try and take him down with the 223, or to be honest, whichever buck gives us a shot, which it just happened to be him, so even better. That guy is a pretty good deer. Definitely want to be getting him down. Hopefully that was a good shot. I really don't know if it would be. We're going to go ahead and try to get another in him just to speed the process up a little bit. Unfortunately, we're not connecting on these shots, and he got stuck on a rock on that one. He is going to die, though, so that's good. So there is our buck, once again, barely getting into the lung, though this one did do better than some of the other shots, so I'll give it that. It did get a little bit further in, but still not great. Definitely not great, actually. Well, let's attempt a shot on one of these. I'm going to hope that one of them will actually stay still for us and give us a broadside shot, or else we're just not even going to be able to get into the lung. That's really what we got to hope for using this, is that we get broadside shots. And, I mean, they're giving them to us, but they're not staying broadside, so it's making it really hard to actually time this right. Yeah, every single time they move too much, except there. Although, that was not a good shot. Not at all. I don't think that thing's gonna die. Well, we'll keep tabs on the area to see if it does die, and if it does, we'll come get it, but got a feeling that was not a good shot. Well, we are once again in a pretty tough place at this zone. I don't see us getting a good shot on any of these. Unless that actually right there is not bad. So we'll take a shot on him and see if he goes down quickly. I'm going to assume that was a good vital hit, though. Man, that took absolutely forever to track this thing. It ran a very, very long ways. That is absolutely wild. Let's go ahead and grab this guy, though. That was a perfect little single lung shot, but 888.78 meters tracking distance. That's pretty wild. That is a long time to track a deer. Let's go ahead and try to take this buck down 236 meters away. We are approaching 23 minutes on the clock. It has took us a long time just to get through this run, which is no surprise as this gun is quite weak, but it's took way longer than even I expected it to at this point. There we go. That level 2 has a bullet in him now as well. Love to see it. Let's hope that he goes down. I think the first one definitely should, but the second one is questionable. Well, that was quite the trek, but we eventually found this guy, 516 meters from where we shot him. Again, single lung shot, as we expect, but this guy did go down a little bit quicker than the last one, I do believe. You know, I'm starting to think that shooting 2 deer out of that zone may have been a mistake. It's taken forever just to even find the tracks to track this guy down, and now that I finally have found it, it looks like it's going to be just as far away as the first deer. Man, it's going to be quite a blowout when we go to the 308. I just got a feeling we're going to probably quadruple the number of deer that we got with the 223 and probably do it in half the time or less. This is pretty insane. This just goes to show why there's certain guns that you just don't use for grinding in Call of the Wild. There he is, but he ran a very long ways. Well, this might be the easiest shot that we take all day with the 223. If I mess this up, then I don't even know what to say. It looks like we got a solid shot into that guy. Not going to be able to take another one down, but that guy will for sure go down. And there we go, the final deer of the day for the 223. 220 on the score. Man, that took 31 minutes and 45 seconds. Let's go ahead and pause that. So there we go. That is how long it took. So as we can see up there, 31 minutes and 48 seconds, and we only killed 8 whitetail deer. And I know, that's pretty bad. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty easy victory for the 308, but we're still going to do it just to show the insane contrast in a gun that should never be used for grinding and a gun that's considered to be the best of the best for grinding, something in the like class 4 range. All right, here we go. The clock has started for the 308. Let's go ahead and take some shots. And again, I am not going to take running shots since we did not take running shots with the 223. I am only going to shoot them when they're still in their zone, just to kind of make it fair. But I mean, as you guys can see, it's already not going to be a fair fight for the 223. The 308 is just a monster of a rifle, and also this is why I recommend this over the bolt action 308. Even though the bolt action 308 technically has better penetration, it's just not that big of a deal if you're hunting something like whitetail, where, especially when the 308 right here gets good enough penetration. I mean, look at that right there. That is pretty crazy. I'm actually kind of concerned why that one didn't make it, but this is what you normally could expect out of the 308 AR, and I mean, as you can see, it does good enough. The penetration on it is definitely not an issue. So to answer the question of, should you use the bolt action 308 over the 308 AR because of the better penetration? Not if you're grinding. Although I don't recommend the 308 bolt action for grinding, it is definitely a good option for multiplayer because of the fact that it does have good penetration. Now, if you're just taking a single shot at an animal, then penetration is definitely what I would take over having the fast fire rate. However, for a grind, fire rate is definitely the thing that's best. But definitely, like in multiplayer, 308 bolt action is a perfectly fine gun to use. It's just that if you're doing like a single player grind, you want speed and you want reliability. The low recoil, the super fast fire rate, and the good enough penetration of the 308 AR just makes it the better choice over the bolt action. I know that wasn't really the topic of this video, but it's something that I did want to add in since I have seen questions about it as to whether or not they should use the 308 bolt because of the better penetration, or if they should use the 308 AR because of its better performance overall. We got a couple bucks side by side. Let's go ahead and take a couple shots into those if we can. And that is not going to be the best shot, but you know, we'll leave it at 2 because he started running away. We'll count that as the, I guess the most that we're allowed to do for it. I got to give the 223 a chance in some way or another, given this isn't really going to make much of a difference, but you know, we'll try to keep the shots only when they're in the zones. But I mean, already, it's just not even a competition. That poor 223 is already behind, I believe. If not already behind, then we're basically tied with it in just 4.5 minutes. Let's go ahead and try to get a shot into these, and that right there will be the end of both of those deer. They died incredibly quick. I would take some shots at these, but I didn't do that with the 223, so we won't actually count these. I do want to get that guy down, though, just because he's good, but I won't count him into the final total because of the fact that I didn't shoot deer out of that zone with the 223. But it's not really going to matter because this right here is our 8th deer, and that means we've already killed just as many as the 223 did in about 1/6 of the time, so that's pretty insane. Well, what do you know? That right there is a diamond potential whitetail. So that's going to be something cool that we can add on to this little video. That's honestly the last thing I expected to see, but I will gladly take it. And one more shot into that 2 there. Did not get a good hit on him, though. So that's going to be one that we will have to track, which will kind of add some time to our total here. But we got what is probably a diamond. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. It is not a diamond, but it was close. That was very close. 252.41. That's a good buck. That is a really, really good buck. There we go. We finally found our buck right here. Unfortunately, we did just get a flesh wound. But, I mean, given it was a flesh wound, it still only ran 485 meters, which is still less than most vital hits from the 223. Let's go ahead and try to get a shot into a couple of these. I'd like to get 2 if possible. Oh, actually, we got one that is perfect right back there. And he moved right as I shot. That is unfortunate. So we're only going to get 1 buck from that zone. Got to stick to the rules of not taking too many shots outside of the zone. I believe this right here is going to be deer number 12, and it scores 220.46. Not a bad buck at all. And now we only got 2 zones left to hit up before this challenge will be coming to a close. Well, that's a solid deer right there. We're definitely going to try and get him down. I do want to get them to go broadside, so we're going to real quickly do the 22 trick and try to get this guy to give us a good shot. And if we can, we'll take down multiple. Now, the thing about this gun versus the other one is we can actually take frontal shots, so that is quite a massive help. I actually don't know if it went well there, but it's something that we usually do have the option to take. Of course, the one time where I talk about how we can actually take a frontal shot with the 308, that's what happens. I go directly between the lungs. Man. Well, I mean, it would have got there if I had been a little bit to the left or right. But, I mean, it's still not really even going to be comparable, as that was deer number 13, and we still have this one zone right here, and now the challenge is going to be over. Well, let's stop this guy from floating. That right there is going to be, I believe, number 13 and number 14, and this will end the clock. Let me go ahead and pause that. There we go. 16 minutes and 34 seconds. So in about half the time, we killed quite a bit more deer. Instead of 8 with the 223, we had, I believe, 14 with the 308. So that was honestly not even close. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this. I definitely think we could do some more interesting ones in the future. This was kind of just like an introduction to this potential series where we compare guns in different scenarios. And it also doesn't have to be grinding whitetail for like the comparison scenario. We could do it for like what's the best shotgun for taking down loads of geese, what's the best handgun for taking down small game. We could do a lot of things like this that I think would be quite a bit of fun. So let me know in the comments if you guys want to see that, and of course, if you guys do, we will do more of these in the future. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell, since quite a few of you do not have the bell currently ticked, and it is the only way that you guys will get notified whenever I post new content. So if you want to see when the videos get posted, be sure to do that, and it'll start notifying you whenever I post. With that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!